Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint this Impressionist woman. We're going to do the back of the head and some flowers around her hair, and we're going to keep it very loose style for beginners. I've got another painting that we did last month of kind of the same theme, and so this will be a companion piece for that one. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Got my husband Mark with me.
Hey everybody.
He's man in chat for our live show tonight, so if you have questions while I'm painting, you can ask those and I'll try to answer them. Let's get started. All right, so I've already kind of pre-sketched it on here. I've got a 10 by 10 inch Dixie cotton canvas. It's got a nice wide sides, gallery wrap. That just means it's stapled on the back and not on the sides. Wrapped nicely so you can hang it without framing it if you want to. This is the one that we did last month. So we're probably going to use the same colors and adapt the background a little bit. I'll probably do something instead of doing the gray. We'll probably do something, maybe not this bright blue, but something like it. I don't know. We'll see how it comes along as I'm going to go with the flow tonight. I'll be using the Aspen brushes again. These are the ones that I used last time. They worked really well for this. They're a little bit stiffer than my normal brushes that I use. The bristles are just a little firmer, and so they can push that paint around a little thicker. So we're going with a kind of a thicker look to the paint tonight. So we've got a number 2 round, number 4 bright, a number 8 flat, and 6 filbert in that. And they come in a set that way. So all the materials and everything that I'm going to be talking about tonight are down in the description. Links to those to the Amazon store where you can buy them, or the Brush Guys. And you be sure to use the code Angela Fine Art on the Brush Guys if you want to get 5% off. So, all right, let's go over the colors. Carbon black, burnt umber, burnt sienna, quinacridone burnt orange, yellow oxide, cadmium yellow medium. I went ahead and added cadmium red medium because I realized we have to make a skin tone, even though it's not in the flowers in this one. So we'll need that for the skin tone. Quinacridone Magenta, Dioxazine Purple, Ultramarine Blue, Cobalt Teal, and Phthalo Green Yellow shade. Unbleached Titanium, Titanium White, and then this is our little bit of Glazing medium. Okay. So let's go have how to draw this one. It's super easy. I'm just going to wet down my brush and kind of sketch it on with the brush like we did last time. Get a little bit of the ultramarine or burnt umber. I cannot say my words today.
Ultramarine burnt blue umber. Check.
Sorry.
Don't think I have that color.
Okay.
Can you mix that?
I've got so many confused people right now.
Okay, so why don't you go out and come back in?
Okay, I will. One thing I would suggest is if you are going to paint along, I would take a screenshot or something at the very beginning and mark on paper which color I am using. Because sometimes when I'm color mixing, I will mix a color like over here, and then I'll use it and then come back to that same spot and use it again later, but I might not remember exactly what I'd mixed, or I might not exactly mention, what color it was. So as I get going, sometimes I get to talking about other things, or, I just forget to mention the colors. So that will help you kind of keep track of where things are if you kind of mix them in the same area on your palette, and maybe make notes as I go along, take screenshots if you're going to be painting along, and that'll help you. That's what I do when I'm doing my lesson plans, if I'm going back and for the magazines and things. We were in a French magazine that they do the step-by-step things, and I have to write it all out. And so then I have to go back and look at my lessons and figure out what I've done. So anyhow, that's how I do it. I just kind of go back and rewind and take notes. All right, so I'm going to start at the top here. It's just basically an oval shape here, and then the neck coming down. It's really simple to draw. So I'm just going to kind of do the outline of it and holding the brush way far back here so I can get a kind of a loose outline of the hair. And I don't want to have like a strong straight line here. I want it to kind of be sketchy because I don't want to have to worry about blending this into our background or anything later. I need it thin enough, and I'm adding a little bit of the glazing medium just because it'll help that watered down paint stick better. So the water thins it and the glazing medium helps it stick. So water will actually kind of help it make it not stick. So it unbinds the paint from its kind of glue base, the acrylic medium base. All right, so our bun or chignon or whatever it is here that she's got her hair. I'm not if that's the right word for it or how you even pronounce.
Chignon? Ooh.
I don't know.
That's fancy. I never heard of it before.
It's like
How do you spell it?
CAHIGNOI.
Oh, it's French.
I don't know. It's spelled weird.
Chignon.
Chignon. So this is going to come up like this. So I'm just going to kind of mark out where the middle of it is, and it's kind of right up just above kind of the center mark. Well, really, this is the oval. It's kind of like an egg shape here, the head. So this is kind of the nape of the neck here, and then these hairs are coming up. All of this is going to be covered up by flowers, so it's really kind of hard to tell exactly what's going on back in here, but you can kind of see the direction of the hairs kind of coming up like that. And then...
Yes, it's chignon. CHIGNON.
GNON.
That's one of them right
I
there.
think I added a... Yeah. Yep. I think that's what this is. It's kind of a loose bun. Like a loose... it's not really bun. It's kind of just like a loose...
I like pretzel buns
gathered
better,
hair.
to be honest.
What?
I like pretzel buns more. I mean, just... It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Paint on.
Okay. So there's a curving line that goes right up here like this. It kind of almost does a loop. These hairs are coming down and going underneath this hair. So this one's on top of all these, but these ones are kind of coming down this way. And then this has got a nice long loop here. And then all of these coming from the side of the head are coming down and joining with that, like that. And then these ones right here from the top of the head are curving around and getting tucked in right here. There's a little dark area. I'm going to go ahead and go a little darker.
So it's actually known as chignon de cou, or
Okay.
bun at the nape of the neck.
Ah, okay. Well, it may not be the one then because it's
Oh,
kind of
so
a little
kinda
higher
high.
than that.
Mm. Okay, then chignon de tête. Bun on the head.
Ah. Okay.
I just made that up. I don't know if that's a real thing, but
Is that from your
I do know
your
tête is...
vast French?
Yes, I do know tête is the
Head.
head, because you have to know that when you go to restaurants, because sometimes they want to serve you brains.
So you
Yes.
You
so
learned.
you know danger words like tête.
I love it. I love it. That sounds just like something that you would learn. And that is awesome.
I know some cuss words too, but I won't say those here.
Okay, good. Change the whole rating of our channel. Might lose a few sponsors if we started doing that. Okay, so here's I'm just kind of really kind of figuring out the direction of the hair, where the dark areas are going to be. This is really turning into more of a painting than a sketch. Sorry, I got kind of carried away there. Let's continue with the sketching and then we'll get back to the hair. Just got it kind of having fun there and didn't stop. All right, so there's our neck, and then our shoulder. We just got a little detail from the dress or whatever she's wearing here. And then our not feathers, our flowers are coming around like this, but I'm not going to put those in right now. I'm going to go ahead and do the background because we're going to have to paint over the top, obviously, of anything like that, so I don't have to worry about painting it twice. get the large number 8 flat here. Get a little bit of water. Some white paint. And go ahead and pick up that brown a little bit. That's right there in the, just a little bit of it. Get some, the Cobalt Teal. Watering it down, and I'm just going to do kind of a lighter teal this time. We'll see. We can always darken it up later if we decide we want it darker. But as again, like we did the last time, I'm going to just kind of lightly go back and forth. I might add a little bit of the darker color. I might even add a little bit of green. I feel like I'd like it a little more minty maybe. So add that around the hair and kind of go over the edges just a little bit.
Looks like that jewelry company color.
Oh, yes, it sure does.
It does.
Tiffany blue. I think this will be pretty with the color of our flowers in this one. The flowers are predominantly kind of a violet pink. So I think this will be a pretty color to go with that. And it'll coordinate well with this one because it's got that same undertone of the teal blue. If you wanted to, if you're going to hang them side by side, you could always go with the same exact color. So just decide, you know, however you decide you want to do it. It's totally up to you.
And the same rule.
You could change the background colors altogether. And there's a lot of people that did that in their examples that they sent me. So.
I was just going to say the same rule applies if you hang them above each other too, not just side by side.
True dat.
Okay. Or kind of like at an angle to each other too.
Okay.
Or not near each other at all.
Okay. Do I need to have to turn off your mic now? I need a mute button over here too. You got all the power on your side.
Hi everybody, hope you're doing well
Yes.
tonight. Let's change the subject.
I'm going to get some of the off-white there, the Unbleached Titanium, and just going to add some little bits here and there, just kind of for some other colors happening around, in and around. And you can see it's kind of pretty light. And I'll probably go back in again like I did on the other one and add another layer of colors to it. I'm going to go ahead and do the sides while I've got this color sort of on here. I didn't mix up enough of it to go around, so I'm going to have to mix up some extra, but just save me the trouble of having to do it later.
I mean, you could almost just stop right there. I mean, that looks pretty cool. Like
It does, yeah, it really does. Yeah, you could add some loose flowers and be done. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think I might do a series that's similar to that. Maybe not women, but I was thinking maybe animals or something, or birds or something like that, and do it kind of this same style. Andy Warhol did a lot of prints that way. Like he has a whole series of prints that are very like, well, and Picasso did it too, you know, like this kind of very loose outline style. You know, there's a lot of artists that kind of did it. I really love that look. Oops, sorry. Going off camera here. I'm just trying to get it all on there. And I realize, as with the first one, I didn't actually even paint the bottom of it at all. So 2-3 sides and then leave the bottom open.
So
or you can do all.
But you did that, so now we have to understand the existential meaning of why you did
Leaving
that.
the spirit free to roam or something.
Yes, for the chi. the chi to enter into the universe of the
You don't want
painting.
to hold her back, you know.
Right, leave it
She's gotta
open
be
to
free
interpretation.
to express herself.
Yeah, that.
Sorry. Thanks, guys, for watching it. If you enjoy our channel, it'd be awesome if you would subscribe and come back. And we do these live shows where we paint and chat and do our silly, and also try to help teach to paint along the way at some point.
Sometimes by accident.
Well, I've been teaching for about 30 years now, and Mark's only gotten into the game of helping me for the last, 3 years maybe?
Yeah,
Something
more
like
than
that.
that. Let's see, we've been doing Patreon for 3 years, so probably about
it's
4
been
years.
a while. Yeah, about 4 years then.
5 years.
So time flies. Wow.
I know, we're getting old.
It's fun though. We have a good time, and it's fun to get Mark into the art world because he's an engineer, so he doesn't really, it's not his thing.
Yeah, I sit here through all these paintings, hundreds of hours.
Yes.
And she doesn't sit through any Excel sheets at all. Ever.
It's really not fair.
Exactly.
It's all right. I used to do that for my job too. I did. That was for about 2 years.
And then you're like, oh my gosh, this is horrible.
I gotta go back to painting.
People actually like this stuff?
No. I did like it when I was doing it, but not anymore. Now it seems super tedious.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. All right.
X lookup is the way to go.
What?
X lookup is the way to go.
X lookup? Okay. All right. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about painting now.
All right, go for it. So what did you just mix up?
Unbleached titanium, and I'm going to mix up our skin tone. So we're going to use the red, cadmium red, and it's a nice kind of orangey red. I'm going to get a little bit of both of the yellows there, and then we're going to use the ultramarine blue. And I'm going to mix those together. And then you'll be able to tell if you have too much of one color. Like right now I can tell I have too much of the red. So I'm going to add a little bit of the blue to counteract it. And then we'll add a little bit, let's use the yellow oxide. It's kind of a medium base. Some of that is going to be kind of the brown, it's a brownish red that gets mixed. And then we'll add our skin tone. We can add some white to it. And we can tell kind of what our base is. So right now it's looking kind of orange to me, maybe. It's not bad. I might add a little bit of the brighter yellow. Kind of warm it up a little bit. Make it a little bit of the yellow undertone. And yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so let's use that. And I'm going to add more white. And I've got my brush loaded up real thick with the paint. And I'm going to go over the top of my lines, but it's okay if a little bit of the lines that we originally drew show. So that's up to you. If you want that to be part of your painting, the look of your painting, you can leave the lines showing. We didn't on the last one, so I'm going to cover mine, but I'm going to get some of the darker color and just put it in right at the base of the neck there, and just kind of blend it into that wet paint a little bit. Get some more and get some of the lighter color here. This is a little bit darker than her skin tone in the picture, and I realize that all of these girls are Caucasian. That's not deliberate necessarily. It's just because those are the photos that I found. I couldn't find any other ones on the Shutterstock that I was using to buy my photos that had this look that I was going for. So you can always change the skin tone real easily, and the hair color or whatever you want to do with yours. Does not have to be the same. I'm going to add some more blue to it and do the shadow on this side with a little bit more of the blue. Our light seems to be coming from this side. This side's a little bit brighter. And this side's got some of the shadows.
That's because I'm sitting on this side.
You're brighter?
Yeah, it's brighter on this side.
I don't know about that. Did I say that? Well,
Did you hear that?
did you hear that? Oh, that's so weird. Okay. Now I can definitely see that her skin tone is more is a lot more fair in the picture, and so I'll probably brighten up. This is just our first go around. Oh, don't forget her shoulders. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those in.
And it's quiet
I know.
as she paints the shoulders.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get the white. Put that in. It's going to be a little higher than the shoulders because it's sticking out over, right? So I'm just going to put it up just above the line of the shoulders. There. Something like that. This angle looks a little bit shallower, so I'm just going to bring this angle in so it matches it. I'm just going to smooth out any kind of rough. I had some stray paint coming down there that was kind of making it look uneven on the bottom. So there we go. Very good. Okay, so let's use a little bit more of the yellow and some of the unbleached titanium and some white over here. Maybe a little bit more of the red. There we go. Get kind of a creamy or peachy color. We'll use that as our highlight color on the skin. This is still kind of wet, so we should be able to paint over it because we put it on pretty thickly. It should stick okay. There we go. And this whole style of painting is just all about kind of layers and letting the brushstrokes show. So don't be afraid of kind of putting on the paint thick and being bold about your brushstrokes, letting them kind of be expressive, if that makes sense. So, and then we can blend it in. We're not going to blend necessarily. We're going to just kind of go over with more brush strokes, maybe and kind of do kind of a medium color in between. So we get the lightest color down here, and then we're just going to go with like a little bit darker up above. I might even use a little bit of the burnt umber up here. And just use it right up underneath there. So I'm just going to let that dry, and we can see when it dries if we're going to need anything more to it. I might bring my highlight down a little bit more, and I feel like the neck comes out a little bit farther on this. More of a curve right there. Okay, so let's let that dry because I'm lifting off color and I don't want to do that. And that happens when the paint underneath is starting to dry. So we'll just let that dry a little bit more and we'll work on our hair. And I'm going to go ahead and stick with this Filbert brush. Seems to be working pretty good. This is brunette, so we're going to go ahead and start with the burnt umber as kind of our base color. I'm going to add a little bit of black, maybe a little bit of purple, because we're kind of going a little bit, actually even a little bit of blue. We're going a little bit kind of interpretive with this, right? So we can get creative with our colors too. We don't have to just go with the straight colors that you might normally think of. And right now I'm just looking at my photograph and seeing where my darkest areas are. So I'm trying to pick those out, and we've already kind of mapped out a lot of that with our first sketch. This side is obviously our sunlight side, so there's not going to be as dark shadows, but there still are some little areas that are tucked in there that are darker. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a little bit of the yellow oxide here, and some more of that burnt sienna. Create kind of a medium brown color. And mixing into that skin tone area. There we go. So we'll use this as kind of our middle color. And I'm just going to use the tip to kind of draw in like we did with the first one, and just kind of try to loosely map out where all of our, you need to talk to Spencer. Map out where all of our, the direction of these hairs are going. He needs to get off. Just, okay. All right. Sorry, I'm talking about my son there for a second. He's yelling in the other room playing video games. So, not okay.
I would never do that.
At least not during a show.
True.
Okay. Getting some of that burnt orange here. Adding that. It's gonna look kind of flat at first. It's fine. We're gonna build up some of these other colors later, so don't worry about that. We're just kind of trying to get this all based in right now. So I'm just mainly working on my outline and getting the direction of these hairs kind of mapped out. And then along these outside edges, we can let them be a little bit fuzzy. So I'm going to add a little bit of water. And just use the edge of my brush there to kind of put them on a little bit softer, so they kind of fuzz out. Okay, really just trying to get this all filled in. And it's going to come down a little bit lower on the neck here. So we brought the neck up a little higher than it needed to be because there's, hairs underneath overlapping that hair. So the hairs are overlapping the skin, So we need the skin up underneath. And we're not really seeing the ears. I'm sure they're kind of back here, but they're being covered up by the hair. If it were me, they'd be showing, but my ears tend to stick out a little bit more. Thanks, Dad. Get in the dark. All right, so we got a whole lot of dark hair there. But we got it all covered. That's the main thing. Gonna get some of this brown. Let me use the Unbleached Titanium and the yellow Oxide. Maybe even a little bit of the orange. Create a light reddish. I'm going to start to map out some of these hairs that are highlights. I'm going nice and thick with this, but using light brush strokes. So I've got lots of paint on my brush, but I'm applying it kind of lightly, so I'm not getting too much laid down at one time. I'm kind of lifting it as I go, so setting it down and just kind of lifting it and flicking it to get these little highlight areas happening. And I can brush back through while it's still wet. I can even add some darker if I need to. And we'll probably do a couple layers of this, so if you don't like it the first go around, you can try again. You might like it better. So I want to leave this area fairly dark, but there is some lighter highlights that come right up to it. It's kind of a tricky area because these kind of just come down straight from like right in here. So there's some sort of a part up in there, but you're not really seeing it. So these hairs all kind of overlap one another a little bit right in here. So just kind of be aware of that. And then there's a real pretty swoop that kind of happens right there. A little wavy line that comes up around right here. And these hairs all kind of curve up. And then these ones are the ones that curve down. Get a little bit lighter color. These ones are going to curve up. That. Pretty. Okay.
Yes, you are.
Thanks, honey.
Hashtag truth.
Hashtag Mark's drinking. And that's the truth. Hashtag truth.
That has nothing to do with it.
All right, using the unbleached titanium here. And gonna maybe even some titanium white here. Gonna do some little highlights right there. So our brightest area is right there and right in here. This little area right there. So those are the two areas that we want to kind of pull forward. Also that little area right there. And right here. So each time we add a highlight, it kind of pulls that hair forward. That helps give it dimension. Okay, gonna just need a little shadow right here between this part and this part, and another one right in here between that and that, right in there, because this is tucking back down in there. So let's just let that set for a minute. Let it dry. Let's go ahead and use that darker Kind of burnt umber. A little bit of water. Can get some. There we go. Okay, and I'm press my brush flat so I have a good flat edge to work with. If I can get it, I have a lot of paint on there, so it's kind of hard to get it to do. I'm going to hold it kind of far back here, and I'm just going to wisp some hairs. From right on this widest part of the head here. And let's do it. Make sure they're a little bit thicker as they touch the head there, or at least kind of attached well. And kind of make them different on both sides so they aren't matchy-matchy too much. Come out a little bit more. And I'm keeping it very wispy, so there's lots of the texture of the canvas kind of showing. And let's go ahead and kind of wisp out the bottom of the hair here too. Okay, there we go. Pretty. Let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and use this one here. This is the 4 Bright, number 4. We'll go ahead and put the wreath on her head. And I think I'm pretty happy with that skin tone now that it's darkened up and dried, and with the hair on there. I might add just a little bit more of that darker bluish tint. So get a little bit of the blue and the red and the yellow together. Kind of orange to me, so I'm going to add more red. Or not orange, it looked kind of green. So we'll make it a little bit more purple, and that'll go better as a skin tone and a shadow than green. There are greens, there's blues and skin tones, so I mean, you can get away with a lot. It's just, when I did it again, I put it all the way down. It's not that far down. Darn it. Get that lighter color. It's a little bit harder to blend it when it's dry afterwards, so you may have to do a new layer of color like next to where you're wanting to put this one to get it to blend in. Get a little bit more of the reddish, a little bit more of that yellow. Use that kind of warmer beige color. Under the neck right here. And see that brown is still wet, so it's kind of blending with it, which is fine. And just use a lighter version of it as you go down. Maybe even add a little bit of white. That is not wanting to come out of my brush. Keeps wanting to deposit that color over here. There we go. And this part of the neck is pretty light right there. There we go. We'll use a little bit of that darker color. Whoop, not that. Okay, let's stop mixing close to the colors. I'm going to pull them over here so we're not right up against them. Ultramarine Blue, Cadmium Red Medium, and then the yellow Oxide. And we need more yellow. There we go. Okay, add more red. You just kind of keep adding different colors back and forth until you get it the tone that you want. And you can practice a little bit off to the side and see, what the colors do. Add a little small area of it and just see if you like the color that it makes, so you don't mix a huge amount of color that you don't like. But that's pretty good. It's a little bit more of a peachy tone than, yeah, it'll work. Now I'm going to load up on it. Cover over that area that I just did. Add the unbleached titanium to it and makes it a little bit warmer base than just the white. There we go. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this darker color right along where that clothing is. And then we'll just grab that white and clean up this line here. With a lot of bright, really bright white. That'll bring it forward. And if you already did your hair, I should have done this before we did our hair because I'm seeing some of this hair is covering it. So you don't want to go over your hair if possible. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Good.
All right. Moving on.
The rumor is that you're going to have me work this weekend?
Yes. We are doing
all weekend?
Yes. What's our bonus video weekend? For Patreon. We got to get it done earlier.
There it is, the birds.
We're painting the birds. It's going to be fun.
Nice. You can join now. Patreon.com/AngelFineArt.
Mm-hmm.
That's at the $5 level and above.
Right.
The video is available.
Yes. Anybody 5 or above
And
will have access.
you have access to not only that video, but all of the bonus videos that she's done.
Right. Last month we did Yosemite. We've done all kinds of fun ones. My paint is super dry tonight. I've got to get the humidifier back in here.
And you are super fly.
Everything is drying immediately.
That's right there.
I know. Need to plug it in. All right, so creating kind of a teal-ish blue. I'm using the Cobalt Teal, the Phthalo Green yellow shade, a little bit of yellow. And I really actually want it a little kind of more on the yellow side. I'm mixing a lot of it because I got to go all the way around the head with this color, so I want it to be a pretty good amount of it for that. Get some of that yellow oxide to give it a more neutral tone. And I'll leave some of the color, this darker color here. Add some water to it to loosen up the paint. It's not so thick. And we'll use this to create our wreath on our head. Don't do this until you're ready to do the wreath, so I'm using this very thinly, getting these very thin little lines coming out from it. I probably need to go a little bit more yellow with this, but we'll do this for now, and then we can always change the tone later.
So,
This is kind of getting, I can't, honey, you're too close. All right, well, I know, but I'm painting the whole thing, so it's going off. What were you starting to say?
that I noticed that you're holding the brush like really far back from the tip.
Yes. Yes, I am. Keep it loose. And these ones are coming up and over. Okay, then I'm going to grab the yellow oxide, maybe a little bit of burnt sienna. Keep this green. Create kind of a brown, but it's still got a yellow base. And use that to create the main stem going through. Again, keeping it very loose. It's not like a solid line. There's all these little lines that I'm creating here. That adds to that kind of soft Impressionist style they were going for. Before I go any farther on the wreath, though, I want to finish the hair because I want to add some colors. We had all kinds of colors going on in this one. We had yellows and purples and things, so I want to add some of that into this hair just a little bit. And this one I'm going to go a little bit more of a like an auburn toned maybe. So I'm going to add that Quinacridone burnt orange, and I've got this skin tone color over here, which will make a great color for our highlights in our hair too. So I'm going to use this Quinacridone, mix it a little bit with that brown. And just add it in here, just a couple places, and I'm gonna again use the round brush and the very tip of it and let it just skim a few highlights of this color. I'm going to add a little bit of the darker brown back in right here because I can see where that is kind of gotten all light, but that'll have a little dip there. And then let's get the Ultramarine Blue. And I'm picking out the places where it's going to be the darkest for this to add the blue, because it'll really stand out. So be really pretty too. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of that brown to it. I'm going to add it over the top of that thing there too. That might be too dark. Just going to tap that off a little bit. The color underneath is dry, so it's not going to... That was too dark. So I'll do it again, but I'll do it in a light color, lighter. All right. And then let's do some bright yellow highlights. So get that yellow oxide and some white. Okay. Her skin tone doesn't look real good to me. Looks a little sickly.
She's a zombie.
She does look a little zombie-ish.
Yeah. She got bitten. That's why you can't see her face.
Are you talking on camera or are you just whispering to me?
I'm whispering in the microphone.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to scare anybody.
Okay. Adding some yellow, pinkish skin tone back in there. I just added some red. I think that's better. It's a little bit more. A little bit more, whatever. I don't know. Natural looking, maybe. Trying to do it so I've got some brush strokes showing. It's kind of difficult to blend it in once after the fact. Ooh, that's dark. Kind of making a triangle shape, see? how that shadow works right there. Okay.
So I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know, why do you use blue for the dark portions?
It's just a good shadow color. It's a cool color, so it automatically makes things look farther away, and it's just a good shadow color. So you can use gray, or black or whatever, but blue just is, we're going for kind of color and vibrant expression with this style of painting, and so that the blue really helps with that. It kind of already has so much life. I'm going to go ahead and mix the Quinacridone Burnt Orange and the blue, which were the two colors that we've already used in the hair. And we'll mix some of the skin tone, see what a pretty purple that makes. And so we'll use this in some of the, especially in this side, which is our shadow side. So some of the highlights that are on the shadow side we'll do with this kind of more purpley blue. And then some of them that are down here, like right there. Maybe as it comes in, it goes down in. Okay. Burnt sienna. I've got so much yellow there. I want to kind of blend it into the brown so it's not looking like it's setting on top. So I'm just going to use this to kind of blend all of this together. It's kind of a medium red-ish brown color. Okay, and I need to create this long sweeping one here. So and just one more time with the brighter color here. Just really mapping out this movement on her hair. Okay. And then at any time, if you get your hair like too bright and you're like, this is just not looking, it's too, it's not brown anymore. It's like, looking blonde or whatever, you can always go back in with your darker color and add some darker streaks back in. So I'm just going to do that on some of this down in here where I feel like it's darker than it's looking right now. I'm just using the straight burnt umber here. And also can help blend between the dark area and the lighter color too, by blending over the top of it just a little bit. And you don't have to use the darkest color. You could use kind of medium color and blend over some of your light areas just to make sure that you've got a good transition between that light. You don't want like an abrupt line necessarily between those areas. So I'm going to get a little bit of this and so pretty. I love painting hair. It's just really kind of relaxing and fun. You almost kind of don't want it to stop. And actually this is going up this way, so I need to connect that there. I've got it coming down right there, but I don't have it connected. So this connects to this, and it all kind of comes out from there. And then this all kind of sweeps down from this direction and tucks in right here. Let me get some more burnt umber and just make sure this area is nice and dark. I've already got the black or the blue in there. I've got that original color that we did. Good. So pretty. Okay, so now let's use this color. And I'm going to just go over the top one more time. And continue some of these that I had going over the neck. Too much water in that.
I'm going to reset your mic real quick.
Okay. That help? Is it crackling or something?
We'll see. Or maybe it's my headphones. I don't know. Maybe it's my mic.
Okay. Now, if you need to, you might need to go back over and add more of your green. That's okay. You can do that now. Whatever you need to do. I'm going to add a little bit of teal, cobalt teal, and use a turquoisey blue green color, and I'm just going to dab in some little baby leaves all up in here. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of this kind of style, let me know in the comments. I'd like to get some feedback on it. I got really good feedback on that first one, so that's why we did the second one. So I really do listen to your comments. So when you, you know, have opinions about what I'm painting, I really do want to hear from you. As long as it's nice, please couch it nicely. Be like, you suck, you know, those I delete. So, but if you, you know, have something constructive to say, I would appreciate it.
Somebody would like to know if you prefer to paint any particular color hair.
No, not necessarily. I haven't really done that many, you know, I'm not really a portrait painter. You know, I've done, we did the woman in the poppy field, and she had brown hair, and then we did the girl in the sunflower field, and she had red hair, and then we did the girl in the lavender field, and she had blonde hair, and then I've done the I did the portrait, and she had brunette. I do kind of tend to, I think the brunette are easier just because it's got more contrast. Blonde hair tends to be a little bit more difficult to get any kind of depth to it because it's, you're not going as dark in your dark areas, you know, because it's such a light tone overall. So it's a little bit trickier, I think, getting the depth of color. But this, you know, the brunette's really pretty easy to get some good depth in the color. Okay. And I think it's important with this kind of painting not to over paint it like you can tend to, I tend to do. So just kind of have to know when to stop every now and then and kind of look at it. Maybe take a break and look at it from a distance, and that'll help you kind of see if you need to make any changes or not. All right, so we've got all of our little greenery in there. So cute. It's cute just as is, isn't it? You could do these flowers any color you want. So I would just say, if you're doing whatever color you pick, do 3 versions of it. Do a light, a medium, and a dark. And you can't go wrong. So you take a dark color, and I would just start with from a really dark base color if you can, and then add light to it until you get almost white, and then kind of a medium tone, and then that really deep dark color. So for ours, we're going to be using the Quinacridone Magenta, and I'm going to clean off a spot because I have 0 spots left.
So while you do that, somebody asked, could they use a spotter brush when they do their flowers?
Yes, yeah. Now, if you use a spotter brush, the only thing with that is that you're going to have more of a controlled look to it. You're not going to have this kind of more impressionist, looser look. So, but, you know, it'll be really cute too. So it's just up to you. I mean, it doesn't have to be this. You can adapt it however you want to, you know, on yours, for sure. The spotter will give you much more control over the size of your flowers and all that. So here, I'm using the Quinacridone Magenta. I'm going to use the, I didn't really use the purple at all, did I? This is the number 4, and I'm going to start with this one. We'll see. I really like using an angle brush. The set doesn't have an angle brush with it, so I'm going to try to stick with just these brushes, but if I can't get the look I'm going for, I might switch to an angle brush. So there's my 3 colors, and I might add just a little bit of the purple in here to the magenta and do kind of a, yeah, that's pretty. Kind of a lavender, not lavender, but more of a violet color, violet red instead of the magenta. Okay, so I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to start with the darker color. And I'm going to get a little bit of both of those colors. And I'm going to use the corner of my brush. So, in fact, I'm going to sweep through a little bit of this on the opposite side of my brush. And we can just tap in back and forth. I'm rocking it back and forth here. Tap, tap, tap. Turn it over. Tap, tap, tap. Yeah, this is working okay. By using the bigger brush, you'll avoid kind of getting too fussy with your flowers too. You'll keep them, they'll stay kind of looser. So we're sticking a little bit farther out than she has in her picture, I think, but that's all right.
I'm not sure what you said when somebody asked, what is a starter brush? So I don't know if you mean
spotter.
Spotter. Oh, okay, spotter.
Yes, about a spotter.
Yeah, okay.
The spotter is a tiny little round brush, little teeny tiny round brush.
Is that what they use on Dalmatians? Nice catch.
This is a spotter. I don't know if you can see that.
Nobody saw that catch, but I did.
Teeny tiny round. So it'll make, you know, small. Yes. And these are just little clusters of kind of little flowers, so I'm just following the branches that I've already put in and clustering them together a little bit. So there's like little areas where they're closer together. They're kind of clustered along the branch together. Fun, fun, fun. I'm definitely doing it a little bit more out there than the photos, a little bit more controlled, but you know, we got the space, why not use it, right? And let's use the medium color. We'll add more of our detail. This will be our main color, though we use the dark color to kind of map out where we're putting this. And then we're putting this color over the top, leaving a little bit of the darker color showing, but this is going to be kind of our main color, this medium tone. And you'll see it's going to show up a whole lot more, especially against the dark hair. I've got the next one already bought and picked out. I'm going to do at least one more in this series, and if we continue to like it, I might just continue it all year long and do several more, because I've got at least 3 more that I really liked that I thought we could do as well. But the next one is a blonde. She's got little pink roses in her hair, small roses, and eucalyptus leaves, so it's real pretty. It's very pale pinks, and so I bought it, but you know, we don't have to do it if nobody wants to paint it. So,
Well, there's like 3 people watching, so
oh really?
yeah, so you know, maybe, I don't know. Not.
Who's watching?
Let's see. There's Ray is here.
Nice.
And Carol and Sandy and Barbara and Pam and Oki and Terry and Marty and me.
All the regulars.
And like 480 some odd other people.
Sweet. Okay, so seeing the motion over here, I think I want to bring some out a little bit farther out this side just to balance it. So I'm just going to grab some of this green, maybe a little bit of the darker, and bring some of this out here this way. And I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of it to add some leaves too. Now that I've got my flowers kind of based in, there are some little leafy type of stuff I'm seeing, so add some of that over the top. Well, definitely, you know me, I like to go big with the flowers, so I'm definitely adding more than what is in the picture. No surprise.
But make sure there's an odd number of flowers too, so you gotta keep count. And if you're running at her fingers and toes, well, I don't know what to say.
Then that's probably about right. Cute. And I definitely think you could add other colors to this. You could add different kinds of flowers to it, just whatever makes you happy. All right, and then let's add just some little bitty bits of the brighter, almost white I'm switching to the smaller brush so I can have a little bit more control here. I'm going to add it over the tops of where I want those flowers to kind of come up at us. So some of these maybe back in here, farther away, but these ones in front here might be closer, so they'll get a little bit more of that light. Maybe these ones are peeking up out of the light. Into the light, I should say. Did have a comment about the rocks in the sunset video the other day, and they were saying that the rocks should have been yellow instead of blue, or they should have been like brighter tones, and but things in shadow and those rocks were in the shadow still are going to be more of that bluish tone. So these over here, you could even add a little bit of purple too if you wanted to, because these are kind of on our shadow side technically. And this side you could add more warmer. You could add even a little bit of yellow to our pink to make it warmer and brighten it up. You know, if you really want to emphasize that cool and you know, shadow and highlighted side, that's up to you. But this is one of those that we're kind of manipulating what we're seeing here. We're not doing straight from the photo, so you can really kind of take it, and as long as you kind of follow the basic rules, you can kind of adapt it however you want to, really. It's fun. And so I'm feeling like the hair looks like it's a little disconnected from the rest of this. So I'm going to take this magenta and I'm going to add just a little bit of the brown to it. I'm going to use this as a color in our hair. Just a little bit of it. It doesn't need a lot, but I think it's going to really like help tie it all together a little bit. You'd be surprised. Yeah, much better. Just little bits of highlight with this pink in the hair, and now it's kind of all meshed together. You can even use it down in, like maybe we can outline the dress a little bit with the pink, just slightly. And I do like that the lighter color in this one, so I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it. Let's set these side by side and see what we think. This one's definitely closer up, so we could have like cut off the made the head bigger on this one, you know, if we wanted them to match a little bit more, and maybe cut off part of it or done part of the head. But I think they look kind of cool together, and I definitely think that they work as far as a pair. The style is similar enough. This one I think is a little bit more refined. I think I went a little bit juicier with paint and a little bit thicker with it over here. This one's a little bit, you know, smaller brush strokes maybe. But yeah, I like them. I think I'm gonna tone down some of the colors on this side just a little bit. Maybe go back in and add in some of this purpley. Purpley toned, the quinacridone and the magenta, or the quinacridone magenta and the Dioxazine Purple here. I think I'm going to use it a little bit in this area here.
So why did you choose the green with the background?
I just thought it would be a pretty color with it. I knew that I was going to use kind of a green that was a little bit you know, similar. I think I want to add a little bit of that yellow to it here. Gonna grab that green, mix that yellows together. Pretty much equal parts yellow oxide and cadmium yellow, or yeah, and then some of this green here. Just gonna add a little bit of the white, so it's a little bit lighter color here.
A lot of people said that they don't want these kind of videos. They would prefer more tanks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what they're saying?
Yeah, they're like, no, please don't do more of these ladies.
They hate them.
They want more.
Want tanks?
Yeah, more tanks because they're tanks.
I don't think I believe you.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Okay, just don't read the comments, but that's really what they said.
Are you paraphrasing?
Yeah, I'm summarizing their intent. That's what they were trying to say.
You're silly.
I think some of them are from foreign countries, so they don't speak English well. So, I was translating.
Okay. You're silly. I'm going to make that kind of lemony green, like a bright apple green. Use it around the hair here a little bit. Add some leaves and things. You can stop at any time. I'm just kind of ad-libbing here, adding little bits, making it a little bit more full than it is in the photograph. Cute.
So somebody would like to know that how would you compare these Aspen brushes to the other Princeton series?
I like them. I like that they're stiffer, so they work better for this kind of painting. And you can see they make fairly small lines. I mean, I was making really thin lines up there. Even this thicker, bigger brush, it still comes to a pretty decent point. You can make some fairly fine lines with it. So I've enjoyed them, especially for this kind of painting. They work pretty well. Gonna add a little bit more of this blue. Got a little bit of that green in there. Just gotta be careful not to get too weird with the colors, but why not, right? All right, I'm gonna stop. This one's fun. I don't want to stop because I'm enjoying it, but I can start overpainting it real quick if I don't just stop. This is the Pigma FB. I get questions about these all the time. Sakura is the brand, Sakura. They're in my Amazon store in the list, so I use them they're waterproof, so they're good for signing. Just don't get alcohol on them because they'll bleed. So they're alcohol-based ink. Yay! Super chat.
Super chat.
Awesome.
With the microphone on even.
Nice.
So we had a super chat from Roxanne, and she says, lovely.
Oh, thank you very much,
I
Roxanne.
think she was talking about the painting. So, yes,
Very
thank you
nice.
very much, Roxanne. Appreciate the support. That's awesome. And I get to
Okay.
use the disco lights.
Yes. I know Mark's always happy when he gets to do that. I kind of feel like I want to splatter, but I didn't splatter the other one, so I'm not going to. I'm going to refrain, but super fun. Hope you guys try it. These are great fun. And very easy. I really think the hardest part was just to do the blending on the neck, and that was only because I got the color wrong a little bit in the first place. So the hairs are really fun, and the flowers are just basically dabs. You know, you saw me do it, so not hard. I think you can do it. Hope you try it. If you do, share it with me on my social media. I love to see them and comment and all that good stuff. All right. Thanks for watching tonight, and we'll be back on Saturday. We've got a really fun project. It's a flower with some large water droplets. It's a close-up of it, so we're going to work on the water droplets. Will be our main focus on these, you know, getting that really cool reflection in the water droplets. So that'll be Saturday, and then on Sunday we'll be doing our bonus video as well. So that'll be for the $5 members on Patreon. And then if you want a traceable of this, I have the traceable. The picture's not up of the bonus video if you were trying to do that. There it is. The traceable, I take this finished painting and I make a digital traceable for you so that you can start like I did with the drawing already done on your canvas, and then you can paint over it, and it makes it easier, you know, just in case you're a beginner and you don't feel comfortable drawing. Those are just $2 for all of the traceables that I have in my library. It's $2 a month for unlimited downloads of any traceables that you want, as many as you want. All right, so thanks for joining us tonight. Go ahead and take that off there again, and we'll put these side by side again one last time for you to see the pair. Really pretty. Yeah, we'll definitely have a third one. That'll be the woman in the blonde, and I think it'll be really fun. So hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.